Hello and welcome, and I'm just gonna get right into the episode review because this episode starts off with perhaps the greatest recap I've ever seen in an anime. Alright, the one that Seketsu does in Kill la Kill is pretty good too. But if they're not wasting any time, neither should I. And we continue right after we left off from the previous episode with, well, Hahuri's mom joke, as she calls it, only to get this amazing reaction from Kurane. Now, I'm going to be praising Rentarou a lot in this episode, but I really want to give Kurane her flowers too. Especially that with this lie detector that comes up from the basement or floor or something, like she's a villain from Kim Possible or something. In the manga, actually, some random butler wheeled out the lie detector, but we never see that butler again, so I think this was honestly cooler. I could totally see Hahuri being the kind of person to have this ready to go anytime it would be needed. And I like how the lie detector was given a bit of a personality here. Its voice is pretty cute and takes quite a walloping from Kurane. Poor Kurane though, being used as an example to test out the accuracy of the lie detector, but of course it's no match for the legend himself, Rentarou, as I love how right here the narrator cuts in and gives us a condensed version, because that's just how it went down in the manga, and it's been a while since we had a fourth wall break. Oh yeah, and they straight up spoil that there's going to be a special ED for this episode, which can't wait to see how that turns out. But despite Rentarou proving his love for both Kurane and Hakuri, well, the mood suddenly shifts as Hakuri takes matters into her own hands. With Kurane subduing Hahuri, it's up to Rentarou to go to Hakuri's rescue. I'm really glad they handled this part seriously. With Hakuri nearly falling to her doom, Rentarou was just in the nick of time able to get a hold of her and save her by falling into the fountain with the both of them. Rentarou meant everything. He said that he would save her, he would be there for her. He would make her happy, even if it costs him everything. But allow me to interrupt this touchy moment because Shizuka has once again died. Anywho, upon realizing what Rentarou actually means and what he stands for in his love for Hakuri and the other girlfriends, Hahuri relents and allows him to date her daughter. But Rentarou isn't going to let Hahuri's feelings go to the wayside. He realized that her confession was truthful. Not just because they had a zing together, but Hahuri deserves a life of happiness too. And yep, here we go. Welcome the sixth girlfriend of Rentarou's family, Hahuri Hanazono. Yes, she's Hakuri's mother. If I was one of the other girlfriends, I'd probably have the same reaction that they all do. We cut right into some fan service moments, which I am not going to show because I learned my lesson earlier in this series and I'm just gonna skip forward a bunch. But man, one of my favorite moments of this entire arc and honestly the entire series is Kurane getting her payback to Rentarou here. They did slightly change it than it was in the manga when Kasuri interrupts them. She thinks that they're sumo wrestling, even though they're probably closer to doing something else more physical. But I'm so glad they added this scene. I mean, Rentarou in the beginning of the episode said it himself. She's a tsundere, but that's what makes her so gosh darn cute. And then it's time for everybody to get into their PJs, and if you've noticed from the ED for the previous 10 episodes, the PJs that the first 5 girlfriends wear are all the ones shown here actually. And once again, we have another casualty as Rentarou has died. Which makes sense because they're so adorable. I mean, even Hahuri wanted a piece, but oh my god, I love when Hahuri just tells her mother to stay. Never change, you two. But then we leave off with another cliffhanger as Hahuri, in Rentarou's arms, begs him to come to her room. What's gonna happen next? Well, we've got one more episode to go, it seems. Gonna have to find out then. Now there's a lot that happened in this episode, partly because this adapted more content from the manga than any episode has previously. If you're following along with the manga, then this episode adapts chapters 18 and 19 in full and about half of chapter 20. I'd recommend waiting to read chapter 20 until we finish the next episode. And with the pace of this episode, it seems like we will get to the stopping point that I was hoping that we get to at this point. we've got one more episode to go for next week, and there are a lot of rumors of a potential second core or season 2, however they want to put it, but at the very least, we should be getting to a really good stopping point by next episode. But overall, I once again have to hand it to everybody involved at Byberry Studios, because this is probably the best animated and produced episode of the entire series so far. Like, it has some really good animation and beautiful moments here and there. I've praised Byberry so much for how much they care and love this adaptation, but they deserve the praise in full. And so does Kurane, as she's co-MVP. Like, I don't even need to explain how amazing Rentarou is and how important he is to the story, with him saving Hakuri's life, even if it would have cost his own. But Kurane deserves her flowers too. She, with Rentarou, cleared through the infrared lasers, was the first one to test out the lie detector, held down Hakuri before anything could happen and Rentarou could go to Hakuri, and realized how much Hakuri means to her. And finally, I need to talk about Hakuri, of course, too, since so far we've mainly just seen her as, I guess, a villain, you could say, but now she's part of the family. She's the girlfriend too, and we get a good amount of what she's really like most of the time, and that's an utter degenerate. And wow, I don't think there's any better way to show it than with the special ED of this episode. I was wondering if they would slide Hakuri into the previous ED or the OP, but nah, they just went ahead and made an entire new ED. Not only is she a total degenerate, but she has enough money to really get whatever she wants. And most of the designs here were anime original. I don't think any of them have been in the manga yet. This had to be auto-translated, so it might not be fully accurate, but the series director on Twitter posted that a lot of the outfits shown were based off of Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. And when the anime got announced way back earlier in the year, I was hopeful that they would not reveal Hakuri until the right moment. And they have, as even on the website, the second key visual, which showed a lot of the future girlfriends, did not show Hakuri until now, where she's there in full. I've had so much fun making this series, and I'm so thrilled with how 100 Girlfriends has been received overall. I thought about what I could do for a video series based on it, and I know the easy route would just to be showing my reaction each week, and I don't have a problem if people want to do that, but I thought that would have been a bit too simple for me to do. I care a lot about this series, and I wanted to make that as clear as I could, so I hope you've all been enjoying these videos as much as I have making them. The response I got from the recent video I did was overwhelming, to say the least. I haven't had a video get 2,000 views in a hot minute, so either you guys really like the series or you really like Hakuri. Either way, I'm happy for it, and we got one more episode to go, so please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that and other anime content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Oyakodon.